Welcome to The Right Focus, a podcast for writers, newbies, and veterans, and everyone in between. We're hosted by M.A. Lee with the assistance of Remy Black and Edie Rooms, all from Murderous Ink books. Our focus is productivity, process, craft, and tools. Each episode lasts as long as it takes to fix a quick dinner, drive a short commute, or take a brisk walk. Resources and links are in the show notes. Visit us at therightfocus.blogspot.com. Now, on to this week's episode.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, do you have 10 o'clock your side?
I think somewhere in our Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daylight Time, Greenwich Mean Time, I've gotten confused, but we're here now.
There we go, my love, there we go. Can you see me, by the way?
No, I cannot. I've got a J for you.
Oh, my Lord. Says recording view. How do I? Oh, I hate this stuff.
I do too.
How's that? There we
you
go.
Are.
Look at that.
See you.
You wouldn't believe for 23 years I used to design computer systems for the MOD in the UK.
You have to stay abreast of everything.
I hate it.
I hate that way that you think it's going to transfer, the knowledge will transfer to the new updates and things, and it doesn't. There's always some little hang up that messes you up, which is one of the things I hate about technology. Yes.
Mobile phone. Been off for 2 weeks. I'm not off the grid as such, but I do mind the intrusion.
Yes.
Somebody saying, "Oh, have you read?" No, I don't want to read about something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to read about the Easter Bunny deciding it's going to chase round and put real eggs down other than chocolate eggs or whatever. Paint your own bleeding eggs.
This though, I don't know if you can see these. These are little like magnified clip-on.
Oh yeah. Readers. Oh yes. Yeah.
And I absolutely love these. So this is tech that does good things for me because I can't do bifocals. I fall.
These are varifocals, and if you see me doing this half the time, it's not because I'm a nodding ostrich. It's because I'm trying to get the right focal point. So,
if you see me look over here, this is my larger monitor. And I have a tendency to look in this way. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm just going over here because it's larger. And my laptop's up here very small.
We got, says he, remembering where the camera is. That's the 24-inch. Next door's my husband's 27-inch. So he's got worse eyesight than I have.
So let's just start. Tell us about yourself, John, your name and everything.
Oh, it's John, middle initial A for Andrew, and it's Connor, Connor. 67 years old, or 67 years young, depending on how you look at it.
Young.
Been involved with writing and odds and ends, first professionally published 1974.
Wow.
When magazine work. But I've never been hungry enough to say I want to make this a profession. And everybody I've spoken to has said it isn't a profession unless you're somebody like Janet Ivanovich or John Grisham, or you get the lucky break, and all of a sudden you're getting those 7-figure advances. Yeah, I wish. I'm still writing for stuff that's on the shelves. John Ford is wonderful because he writes for women's magazines and he's got it cracked.
Mm-hmm.
He has it completely and utterly down to T, and I hate him for it because it's one of the most awkward markets to crack.
Yeah.
And he's got it way, way too easy as far as I'm concerned. But well, it's the same as Hitchcock's or Queen's. You're looking there and you're going, well, how long's the how long's the rejection period? How long's the notification? And can I really afford to wait 12 to 18 months just for somebody to say, well, it was nice, wasn't it, Duck? But, it's still a rejection.
Mm-hmm.
So my life's too short. My life's always been short, isn't it? So you get to the stage where you write what you want to write and you write for who you want to write. And it isn't a case, excuse me, I'm just going to scratch. Oh, it's all right. In a previous life, I was a dog. So if I start doing that, it's okay. As I was saying, I write what I want to write and I write when I want to write.
Yes.
It's got to be the right mood.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people will say, oh, well, you should sit down, you should do this. I use retro for my notes. That isn't oh, you got go. There we go. That is a pen we bought. That's a pen, isn't it? Yeah. And it's a proper fountain pen. So that came off eBay from a wonderful Chinese supplier who has since disappeared, probably because he was money laundering, but so what? I'm not fussed. We've not done it, but we reckon we could throw it to a piece of wood and it would stick. The other one I use is tiny little Calibri, and it is beautiful. I can just about, oh, you can't. Can you see the nib on there?
Yes, I can. Small. Yeah.
It's a tiny little thing. And it was made by Calibri, who used to make cigarette lighters in Italy. And I still top the little cartridges up with a little syringe. And that is the process that I start with. I start with an idea. I could be reading a magazine. I could be reading it. I'm going, yeah, that could be done better. And doesn't that sound arrogant?
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Yeah, I agree with that. But it's one of those things where you get into a story and you suddenly say, that's wrong. Something's thrown you out of that sense of wonder.
Yes.
Something's dropped you out of the fantasy, blown your headspace. It's, and you're going, no, you do that far better. Why not do? Well, why not, instead of just saying it, write it?
Yes.
There's a standard, beautiful, I think it's Raymond Chandler Calling, the autobiography he did, early autobiography, 59. 62, somewhere around about there, possibly 63. He says he picked up dime novels, read them, and said, yeah, I could do better than this. And that's how he started. The late, great it wasn't Sue Grafton. It was, who does V.I. Wachowski? If I'm pronouncing it wrong, my apologies.
Sarah Paretsky?
Yeah. She admitted that she'd picked up, it's like a guilt, isn't it? But she picked up a novel, said, yeah, bang, 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 bang. And there, your first your first novel came out and off you go. Janet Ivanovich, I mean, yeah, okay, she hit the papers with a 7-figure advance, I think, from, it's probably Random House, one of the big 5.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. First 6 novels were romances and they died in the hole. Completely died.
Yes.
And it was only when she'd got the Stephanie Plum on the 2nd or 3rd that those novels suddenly started to look quite attractive to other publishers or the old publisher or whatever.
Yes.
So the way I start anything is to have an idea and just scratch it. Just use the reason I use a pen is it slows me down.
Yes.
It stops. I cannot go, tell a lie. Sometimes I can, but very rarely go direct to screen.
I cannot go straight to screen.
No.
It
I
messes
need the
me up.
pen. I need to be able to. I don't like American paper size because it's not metric. You get a piece of A3, you fold it in half, you get a piece of A4. You fold that in half, you get a piece of A5. You fold that in half, you get a piece of A6. It is simple. What
Yeah.
happens if I fold a piece of letter size paper? I get
Yeah.
half a letter size, but well, it makes no sense. Where on the keyboard do I get half? I've got A5. That's half A4. I know it'll fit into an envelope sideways. You see? So it is that sort of thing. And I can't scratch, as I say, directly to the screen because I need the ability to slow myself to say, is that the right? Can I hear the character? Can I picture the place? And the one thing I do love greatly about the American style is the steno pads. I don't know if they still make them.
They do. I have some.
That's the yellow with the blue lines,
Yes.
wide lines. It is perfect for a fountain pen work. It really is. The words snap come out off the page, and you can then got enough space to go, yeah, change, 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 change. Hold a second, wait a minute. Says he. There we go. There, look at that.
Yes.
Can you see that?
Yes. Somewhat.
Oh, yeah, it's a
Better
bit.
there. Better closer to you. There you are.
It's bletched, isn't it? It really is. It's embarrassing, but I think I should have done that this morning, as in put it into the machine. I'm a great believer. Well, this is the thing when you say this is about technology. Um, I'm a great believer in tech, but I'm also paranoid because I know how disastrous a critical failure can be.
Yes.
So, to me, says he, "Oh, I use a lot of these."
Oh, yes. I have 3 backups constantly and then
Yeah,
a monthly backup to a different device.
yeah.
I
You keep it. I
started with
don't.
personal computers before 1985. I had
Hmm.
been through multiple crashes, major crashes,
Oh,
and so you learn to save everything multiple times so that you can recover it. Um,
hmm.
and so technology to me is a tool, but it's a barrier also because I cannot do the
Thank you.
creative work on
Thank
the
you.
technology.
You
And
can
I
worry
think it's
too much
because,
about, yeah,
yes,
you can worry
yes,
too much about what you're doing with rather than what you're actually doing.
yes,
And
exactly.
to sidetrack a little with the uh, Murderous Ink Press editor head on, one of the worst things I find is that people will use different devices. And so all of a sudden you've gone from all those little smart quotes, all little wigglies, double quotes, yeah, all nice curly whirlies, yeah, yeah, into straight, flat, plain. And then you're back again with it. And you cannot straighten that out
No.
because your single apostrophe as a flat single apostrophe appears as a truncation. So instead of going that way, it now has to go that way
Mm-hmm.
because you're truncating them or you're truncating about.
Yes.
And I'm sorry that this is therapy for me because I've just done some typesetting for for somebody else. And I'm going, seriously, who did the editing for this? Do you really, do you really have an idea of what the formatting should be?
Yes.
Because it's like an M dash. An M dash does not lock onto a closed double quote.
Right.
And yet you use an M dash for an interrupted speech or an interrupted piece or an interrupted thought, and it doesn't lock in. So
Yeah.
when you reformat from your manuscript down to a printed page, book page, could be 6 by 9, could be 5.0 to 7.8. That's the UK standard B size, or you could even go down 5x7, which is a terrible size, but there we go. And you end up with those floating off because you've got justification. Justification sees that double quote or double close quote as an extra character and throws it on the new line.
That's no work.
No, this is the thing. And if you were working, I mean, you're obviously maybe 22 instead of 21, and you're therefore more familiar possibly with a typewriter. So again, it's the familiar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ding, 1, 2. So five spaces in, that was where you indent or you tab an indent. The word processing today is far easier.
Yes.
You create your template, you set something up, you set your indent to 5. I keep it in centimeters, not because it's European and metric, but because I don't like the 1.27. Means nothing to me in inches. 6x9 is a nice page to work with, print wise, but when you come down to an indent, simple half a centimeter, bang, in. If you do not know how to set your tools up, then in some respects you're setting yourself up for being, I don't want to say a failure because that's not strictly true, but you'll not be taken seriously if you suddenly turn up by centering a title or whatever by using 15 spaces.
Because presentation is that first opinion of your work.
Exactly.
It creates that. And
I mean,
so
I'm
if you're
surprised,
off, it's going to really mess you up.
I'm surprised people don't immediately get referred to or understand Shun, the manuscript. Could be classic or modern. And that manuscript template, if you like, has been around since the 90s. I think it must have been. But again, there was something similar. I mean, all we learned was instead of putting our contact details in the bottom right-hand corner, you now put it in the top left. So you've got that there. That was the only real change from typewriter work to going for a word processor. Now, we've had one, bless him, Marty Ziegler. Are we allowed to say people?
Yes.
He suddenly came up with the old with the manuscript. I don't even know why he did it. But he turned up with a manuscript and all the italics were underlined.
Oh my.
Now I know, I know what that means. And it was I'm going, seriously, Marty, how long have you had this manuscript? I mean, is it something you suddenly found on the back of I was going to say a 3.5-inch disc. It's probably 5.25, knowing Marty. But it was suddenly, what? And I'm looking at it, I'm going, why am I suddenly getting these error markers? And because the formatting didn't understand underline, and sorry, that thing, it would understand underline, but in the manuscript it was out of place.
Yeah.
So you suddenly had this, rather than paragraphs or whatever, or an express. And I'm looking at it going, why didn't I know? And I'm suddenly blind to these little beggars. I had to put the thing into a PDF for it then not to flash pretty little colors and things. So I could then go through it. Right, yeah, that one, right. That one, yeah. Marty, I hate you. You are dead to me. There we go. The story's beautiful. The story's absolutely fantastic. It's coming out November the 19th. We've got the next Crimeucopia. We're the magazine that likes to think it's an anthology. That's my background in regard to printing layout, was magazines. We came through small press. We did semi-pro.
Yes.
Oh, bless him. Paul Brazier, I learned so much from him. He used to work on the Brighton Argus, and he taught me a little about Quark. It also taught me the fact I couldn't afford Apple Macs and I couldn't afford Quark software, and so we didn't. And he's long gone, sadly, but he taught me a lot of things. And one of those was you look at the way the page sits. Now, Americans have this odd thing of putting titles in quotes, whereas
Yes.
I put them in italics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting away from that, but yes.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, I see that and I'm going, that is ugly.
It is.
To me, that is ugly because you're so used to a nice, clean, semi-gloss, demi-glaze, whatever, and you've got the flow. Who was it? Oh, I better not say. We had a row with somebody over a cover title, and they were saying, "Oh, the and it and are all lowercase." And I'm going, "Yeah, fabulous." In the middle of the core text,
Yes.
yes. Put it as a title, honey, and your blinking eyes are bouncing up and down like rubber balls. You don't do that. You want a straight line. You want symmetry. You want it squared off. I love serif typefaces because they've got the curve, they've got a style, they've got the thing. We use Mignon and Mignon. There is Minion, which it's okay, but there are, I think, dubious legalities with it. And if we could use Sabon, then fine. Those are different typefaces.
Right.
But Mignon gives us a public domain style that works, and it has a little bit of weight between the lines. So you have a text there, a little bit of white text line again, rather than Bookman Old School, something like that, and where it tends to cram in, makes it look crowded. And that is purely aesthetic. It makes reading easier, but it's purely aesthetic. So when you see something on a cover, and all they bothered to do is use a sans serif block face, you're just going, you couldn't be bothered, could you? You couldn't be bothered to balance. You couldn't be bothered to. You just wanted block, 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 block. So,
my feelings exactly.
well, this is the thing. I mean, when we put the masthead together for us, we had basically looked like a rather ugly rubber stamp. I think it's Capture It, but it's a blotchy thing, mainly because people say, well, that don't. Oh, it is right, yeah. So you're immediately looking at eye catch. You're looking at entrapping sort of stuff.
Yes.
I mean, even to the point where he said he doesn't have one here. Oh, they're on the back shelf, which you can't see because they're blurred out. But you want something that stands and same with the manuscript. Get something looks tidy, something. Oh,
John, are you still there? Because I've got a huge glitch on my end.
is it? Am I was? Yeah, I can still hear you, still see you.
Okay,
I don't
keep
know how we
talking.
re-trigger
You're
that.
coming back.
Okay.
Probably had a solar flare.
I can put there was an option with you. I don't know how much we're buffed, but it's the same with the manuscript. And if you don't have the formatting in the manuscript, then people are just going to look at it and go, Obviously doesn't.
Yes, the basic idea of making paragraphs. I used to teach, and I had the
Know
hardest
what they
time
do.
convincing my students. You're
Is that?
frozen too.
Oh, how's that?
I think our international connection is dying on us.
I did. I keep looking at the root. This is why I'm looking over there to the router, and all I can see we're working buttons, but I can't see what's jammed. Are we still jammed?
No, we're going now.
Are we still locked up?
No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
going.
Oh, go while
Um,
the going's good. Okay. But what's it? Video times we and then slow it back.
yes,
Play it at half speed.
it's glitching very badly. You're all blurred.
Oh Lord. Oh, okay. How's that?
That's a little bit better.
No?
Just a little bit better.
You were saying about paragraphs and templates.
Yes, yes. Um, I used to try to convince my students that if you learn to set up the document, you don't have to use a template. You can set it up
Yeah.
immediately in your Microsoft Word document, get all your headings and follow those with your styles
Mm.
and things, and then just maintain that in your brain as you're working, and it's already formatted when you get to the very end.
Mm.
I see people, focusing on Scrivener and things like that, and I'm thinking, if my Microsoft Word will do that for me, why do they have to go to like one program, then another program, and then another program with their document that they're trying to
Well,
publish?
I I know Word came in with Microsoft and it was the usual Bill Gates virus
Yes.
because suddenly every computer had Windows on it,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And it's annoying because there's LibreOffice. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correct. LibreOffice,
Yes.
which is open source. You've
Mm-hmm.
got SoftMaker over in Germany doing stuff. You've got text editors, not
Mm-hmm.
line editors, but proper text editors that still have the ability to italic and bold should you need it.
Yes.
Things like Google Docs drives me crazy
It
because
was always awkward.
trying to get that down, and a number of people have said, "Oh, well, I've made some amendments. It's here on this docs link." And I'm going, I can't get into that without going through create a Google account. Why should I create an account just to access your work?
Right.
So to me, that doesn't fly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more than happy, again, probably being an old techie, excuse me, to go over to something like Linux, which is basically what flies that little darling. Oh, says he. Oh, there we go.
Basis.
It's a little Asus. Oh, says he. Come on. Oh, it's like a Pandora's box, isn't it? You've got to get the name. There we go. You've got to get beforehand. They used to be on the lids the right way up when you closed it and you saw the name. Now, when you open it, it's got to be in reverse because that way everybody can now see what you're using. It's an
Mm-hmm.
advertising scam. So it's a little 11.5 inch machine.
Mm-hmm.
Now that runs the joys of Linux in the form of Manjaro. So it doesn't matter what it's running. My husband runs Mint. He hasn't got a clue. That's perfect. Absolute wonderful. I put Mint on there. Before that, he had, what was it? It was some other, Mandrake. That was a. You see, this is the nerdy thing. You get to call your software anything you want, and so it's yes, we're running Melon Ball Express. It's the banana fritter version. So what we have is the basic fruit salad combination. So you see, this is what I'm saying. You can't get away. But the point is, Linux is free. You don't have to have a license. You just simply pull down whatever, or you load it off the net. It will run on old equipment. It will run on fairly new equipment. So you're not bound. I mean, as I've said to some people in the past, what are you using for, equipment? Just, oh, well, we've looked at some and we looked at it. No, look at your kids. Tell them they want a new laptop. Tell them to save up and buy the bloody thing. You get their old one, bang, linking a cheap and cheerful Linux system on it. You've got LibreOffice comes as standard. You've got there's a terrible it's a graphics. Oh, what did he call it? Graphics image manipulation program, but it goes by the name of GIMP. So you've got to be a bit careful. Have you got any pictures for GIMP? Sorry? That's what I say. It's the thing, but what I'm trying to get here is it's not costly to have equipment that works regardless of age.
Right.
And again, a little wait a minute. There we go. A little USB stick.
Yes.
Tiny little thing. It doesn't even, well, I've got another one down there. It doesn't have to be that big, and it won't be obtrusive.
Mm-hmm.
But you can buy those things off of Amazon for, I think it was about 10 bucks for 3.
Yes. Yes.
So your storage is there. Yeah. As I say, that's your storage. And it doesn't matter if it's USB 3, USB 2, 1.1, you're pushing it a bit, but it's still USB. It still plugs into the same socket. It's still backwardly compatible to a degree. So you're not stuck with something that in 2, 3, 4 years' time, like your darling mobile phone, has a sealed battery and is going to be basically cream crackered, to use a little British expression there. Oh, ragbagged and royally shagged. So you're left with a situation where you can use old equipment. You can go down to flea markets. You can go and pick up anything and be creative with it. You can write with it.
If you have to, you can go use plain paper and pencil. $5 will set you up for months.
Oh, good Lord,
go to the library and type it out,
Yeah. I've still got stuff print off from 2 moves ago, 3 moves ago, 4 moves ago even. So it's not what you're going to sort of pull up and go, oh yes, what was on there? Oh, CD data rot. Okay. So that was me being silent there while I swore. So I know a lot of French words, and some of them are actually pleasant and complimentary. So, so what you've got is the fact that you've got the printed stuff that works. You say handwritten stuff. I've got notes that will one day become something, but my head's not ready for it yet. If that makes sense.
It does. It does.
It's a scene. It's a scratch. I've got one piece, but it started off with the character had one name. He had a name changed, and he had now he's Sebastian. Before that, he was Benjamin. But I've still got the old Benjamin stuff. So I think at one point it was Bix, but God knows what that came from. That's what I'm saying. You write it as the moment. And unless you can, this is sort of getting a bit circular again. So unless you can actually hear the voice, see the scene, almost mentally touch the play, then you are not ready to put it down as a finished piece. You got scratch, you got. We've had stuff where it's come through, and she was a fantastic blonde, who by middle way towards the end had become a wonderful brunette. And I'm going, she's not even dyed her hair, you know.
When
How
did
many
that change
crimes?
in her? It's all about continuity.
Yes.
I'm going to have to stop you, John. I've been really enjoying this conversation, but we're
Oh,
running
sorry.
out of time.
Well,
Tell me one last thing you want to tell me.
okay. Don't give up and never throw anything away.
True.
That's two bits, but it's the same thing. If it
Yes.
doesn't work, put it aside. As I said, it's the whole concept of having somebody say, or somebody, I'll change that. You said it was going on the short side. So I always go back to Robert B. Parker, the Spencer novels. Yep. I used to
Yes.
read them avidly. Oh, yeah, fantastic. He used to sit there, knock them out, first draft, off to the publishers. They'd lap it up. Fine. You go back and you listen to those in unabridged format as unabridged audio books. You will hear all the he said, she said, he said, she said. And because when you read it on paper, you blank those out, on an audio book, you hear every one of them. So you don't need, if you've got a party of two or a party of three in the scene, you don't continuously need to indicate who's saying what. The conversation, the dialogue, should tumble. It should interlink. It should dovetail. It should marry. It should come together. You shouldn't have to pretend that your reader is the proverbial goldfish and say, all right, this is somebody saying this now. Oh, and this is somebody else replying to that. Now, if it's suddenly a change, say you've got a three-way conversation and the question has gone to somebody, but the third person is answering, then yes, indicate or move them around. A little bit of, I always hated the expression, I always hated the expression, talk, don't, was it tell, don't show, show, don't show.
Show, don't tell.
Show, exactly, shell. Must be time
all
for
right,
Mr.
I'm going to let you
medication.
go. We've got less than a minute. Thank you so much, John.
No, it's been a pleasure, seriously.
It has been a pleasure.
But it's, as I say, don't throw anything away. You never know what you can go back and remine. You never know what you can go back and pull back from the brink, if you like, and never give up. You don't have to make a million. You don't have to be in a situation where you've got to write to eat.
Yes.
But sometimes it pays off. And when it does, it's bloody fantastic.
Yeah. All right.
When I get an acceptance exactly the same as the last time. Oh, sorry.
We're going to go. It's going to go.
You need that big red button, the STFU button. You press it and...
Thanks for listening to The Rock Focus, a podcast for writers at all levels, hosted by Emma Lee from Murderous Ink Books, assisted by Remy Black and Edie Runes. Our focus is productivity, process, craft, and tools. Music is licensed through Audio Jungle, called Background Music Loop. Its creator is Alexander Polishchuk, known on Audio Jungle as Plastic 3. The music comes in different iterations. Show notes and resource links for this and other episodes can be found at therightfocus.blogspot.com. Write to us at winkbooks@aol.com when you have questions, comments, and speculations. We will try to answer you as quickly as possible. By the way, we will not mind your email address. That's rude. If you find value in our content, share with your writing friends or write a review. We're small beans here without the advertising budget of the big peeps, and you can make a difference. And whatever occurs, write on.